It's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Vibhuti Jha, who is Executive Director in Nalanda International, USA. In 1991, he worked in leadership role with the American Express Bank to build and develop Indo-US business relationships. He obtained his undergraduate degree with majors in economics and minors in politics and psychology from Fergusson College, Pune, and his master's is in economics. He got his inclination towards understanding of Indian culture, its rich tradition, values, and Vedic heritage. He participated in the PBS Live program on Asian Indians in America, speaking on Indian culture, traditions, and values. He is a committed practitioner of transcendental meditation for the past 30 years. So please welcome Dr. Vibhuti Jha.
Welcome, everybody. A real honor and pleasure to be with you today. Happiness is a remarkable subject. Who doesn't want to be happy? And in a collective sense, United Nations has been very concerned about it and has published many reports, world happiness reports about the countries. And in that respect, there were certain factors identified as to what, in addition to GDP, gross domestic product, contributes to the happiness of the nations. And they defined it as democracy and political rights, lack of corruption, trust between citizens, feeling of safety, social cohesion, gender equality, and including human development indexes. But today I want to talk to you about net individual happiness. So gross domestic product is all about nations' productivity and outcomes. The net individual happiness is all about you and I and us. So Swami Swarupanandaji very aptly said, here and now, we are in this moment. Dr. Tomar said, happiness is, all about, being in the moment. So the question arises, and Acharyaji's talked about pain and pleasure. So we do everything to gain pleasure, and avoid pain. And moment to do it is now. Future is not known. Past is over. We live in the present. So the events that lead to individual happiness vary. While we clamor for gender equality, when the politicians talk about establishing equality for everybody, they forget one very important element, that with that sense of equality, nature also drives a very powerful concept of individual differences, just as we all are different. So what contributes to your and my happiness? Rich people are happy, poor people are happy. The joke is, it is better to be rich and unhappy than poor and unhappy. So those things aside, but remember, happiness is a choice that Dr. Thoma talked about, is a choice that we exercise. We are here today on this forum because we have exercised the choice of being here. If all of us have a choice to shut down the computer and go back and doing whatever we want. But it actually matters as to what we do to control our own happiness. Happiness is an emotion. It's not a permanent state of mind. It's an emotion, just like anger, just like frustration, just like hope and joy. All these things are emotion, and we are emotional people. I have coined a phrase that humans are sentimental and emotional. They are both combined, is sentimotional. So the point here is very important, that what controls your own sentiment and your own emotion. And I have realized in my as many years of work that your happiness, individual happiness, relates very sincerely to our ability to achieve our potential and doing our best. I think everybody will agree that when we do our best, when we are doing our best, that's the day, that's the moment we feel very happy. So your performance is key to your happiness. Your ability to react to life coming out to you is defined by your own response, because life is coming back in a rapid pace, whether it's nor'easter or corona or whatever. That's the time We have to know how to react, respond to life coming at us. And thus, we have to recognize one thing very importantly: we control our own integrity, our own honesty, and our own commitment about what do we want to be and what do we want to do. It's about individual responsibility. So whether you are in a rich country or poor country, doesn't matter. Their happiness, people are happy in either or country. Every country has its own share of wealthy people. Each share, each country has its own share of poor people. These are matters which are already there. But in your state of mind, you control your own emotions. And that's what is important. The emotion is driven by our own success and our own ability to do best. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. Do your best, don't worry about the outcome. But there's a very deeper meaning, because when you do your best, you inspire trust in other people. We all want to trust others, others want to trust me. And the trust is a function of delivery. It's a very remarkable truth that how do I trust you? It's only when you deliver what you promised to, and you deliver as I expected. That's what brings about a cycle of relationship which becomes very key. So bringing the whole thing from a high level emotional and mental exercise at the ground level, we are all leading a particular set of lives, and as a result of which we control our life. If we don't let unhappiness control you, don't blame others for your unhappiness. Remember, happiness is a choice. Everything that happens to us is because we opted for it, we let it happen. That sense of responsibility, but the moment we have it, happiness becomes part of our life. I'm in America by choice. I'm wearing these clothes by my choice. Nobody forced me to do that. I have a choice to return to wherever I want to go. Wherever rules allow me to enter, I can go there. So I can choose to be happy. I can choose to be unhappy. It's our own state of mind. And that's what is important to remember. The other part is also very important, and that is relating to how do we maintain integrity, honesty, and commitment. I'll give you a very simple example. Dr. Tomar narrated stories. I'll give you a simple example. They were very important stories. This is a very simple example, which gives me happiness. Integrity and commitment is about you yourself. So, for example, we all know what not to do to put on weight. Intuitively, intrinsically, and every sense of the term, we know when we are doing the right thing or the wrong thing. We know that. Yet, we always overeat, and put on weight. Putting on weight is the easiest thing in the world. Try losing one. And that's the important part. So I devise a theory that the present value of entertainment and consumption far outweighs the likely potential future gain. That's why we say, let's enjoy today, we will see tomorrow. But life requires a discipline. And discipline and control comes from your own sense of achievement and your own sense of values. So, in any country, rich and poor, let the United Nations determine what works and what doesn't work. But at an individual level, think about how many people are migrating to this country, to United States, because they are running away from political oppression or improve their economic welfare. I think that is important, that when something doesn't work, change it. Don't let your unhappiness or failures determine your life. Let it determine your life by virtue of making yourself better. And learning is the key. Let's accept certain realities. None of us know everything. Let us accept another reality, that we are all imperfect in one way or the other. The moment we begin to accept another individual, the relationships improves. That brings happiness. If I want to have friendship with you or anybody, I will pick on one or two good things that makes us together. If I want to pick a fight with you, I'll have thousands of reasons to fight with you. So that is one thing very important to remember, that at any given point in time, Swami Sarupanandi said, it's here and now. And I want to recite to you a poem written by my friend Dr. Naveen Doshi. And he related it with his own theme. Naveen is a dear friend. a philosopher, remarkable businessman, and an amazing philanthropist. And he and I get along very well. We are part of the Nalanda International.org that he formed to improve upon the consciousness of people. So the poem goes like this. The poem is titled Now. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift called present. Present is now, not past nor future. What is the time? Ask Yogi Berra. Berra answers, you mean now? Now is the apex of left and right cones. Past is the left cone, future is the right cone. Light speed determines the slopes of the cones. Now resides at apex of the cones. Space and time cross at now. Now is when thoughts die. Now is when body is autonomous. Now removes pain and pleasure. Now provides a state of bliss. Now is Buddha's middle path, middle of past and future. Brahman is absolute and self-effulgent, the source of all other lights in nature. Let there be light, the source of creation. Enter the nature of matters and energy. Enter the nature of time and space. Unseen light helps us to see. Light is seeing and enlightening. Light is divine, destroyer of darkness, life-giving light of solar deity. All living souls linked to the gale of the sun. Subtlest mind at now's apex, mentally agile at light speed, becoming selfless and egoless, mentally massless like photons, approaching the attribute of the unchanging, disassociating from changing nature, merging with the absolute. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I hope and trust you will be inspired to gain happiness by your own conduct, your own responsibility, and own commitment. Thank you very much. Very pleasure.
I thank Dr. Vibhuti Jha for such a valuable explanation. Thank you so much.